I've only been on stage 10 minutes, and that I'm horrible, and she thinks everybody's gonna leave with her, and she storms out to the door, and it's locked, and so then she had to storm all the way through the club and really try to ruin the show. And I go, "Is that lady gone?" And they go, "Yeah." I go, "Is she really gone?" I go, "Yeah." And I'd only been on stage, like I said, 10 minutes. I go, "I'm not gonna do my act tonight." And they go, "Rrr." I go, No. Instead, bring up my friend Robin Williams, and he'll do a show for you. And Robin went up, and he did an hour, and the place went nuts. And then I go and I get him off stage, because they go, "We gotta close the show." Yeah. And I get Robin off stage, and I say to the table of that woman's friends that stayed behind, I go, "So you tell her, when she asks, what happened after I left, you say, Robin Williams did a show for an hour." I hate art.
That's a great story too, because it was really hard to get Robin on stage.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, B, I'm just gonna hang out tonight, B. I'll just hang out. I go, "Yeah, okay." And it's like, "Put me in, coach. Play me or trade me."
I didn't know him nearly as well as you did, but I didn't know him. We hung out, worked together. He put me in a movie. He would come to see me perform a lot in San Francisco. Our mutual friend Dan Spencer worked for Robin for years, and he was a real he just wanted to be one of the guys. He just wanted to be a comic, and he would come into a club and hang out in the green room, and if there was an open mic or the MC, it didn't matter. You were all comics, and you were all equals, and he was just a beautiful person. He really was.
And it's like people are like, "Oh, he took material." It's like, yeah, years ago, 30 years ago, when he was gacked out of his mind on coke, he did do other people's bits. But the reason he's persecuted for that, or was, is because he did the right thing and gave all those people a lot of money. But meanwhile, other people that fucking steal material, they fucking, never mind. Grandpa's gonna go off. It's gonna start.
And they say that for a comedian, the cardinal sin is to steal another comedian's material. I still think murder.
I killed the night. No, I did. You gotta get me to Mexico.
But whose act are you doing? Oh, it's all new stuff. All right.
Oh, you didn't kill anyone. Oh, you did kill someone. Well, whatever. Just don't steal my hilarious bit about Starbucks driving me crazy. I hate Starbucks.
Can you say that? That's our favorite thing, is fake edginess. Just saying something really lame, but with a lot of bravado.
Fucking hate Starbucks.
Okay, there are other places to go.
Well, as funny as the stuff in the clubs are, my favorite stuff is the stuff in the car. Just the two of you going, can you tell me, it looks like you just have a couple cameras in the back.
That's the comedians in cars getting concussions.
Biggest stealing bits,
So I probably put the cameras, I have two answers. One, it's like, well, I wanted you to feel like you were a passenger on this ride, and I didn't want Dana and I performing for the cameras. That's true. But I also didn't want it to look like comedians in cars. I just wanted us to have the cameras on. And you see it at the beginning. Dana makes a joke to the camera, and when I said, well, we've lost a lot of material because of head trauma, and then I look into the lens, and that's it. We kind of get it out of our system, and the cameras are, it's frustrating for an audience, but I know an audience, I watch enough Real Housewives to know that you don't need to see the people talking in order to keep the story going. And there's very little music in the movie on purpose, because there was so much material. I kind of wanted to use Dana's and my talking as kind of it's just very sparingly. And then at the end credits, that's my girlfriend Nora Muhlenfeld singing. That's her band.
Local class.
And it was very small. Everything I do is always small. And she did the makeup, and she's doing some stunt driving at one point.
Yeah, sure.
When you see an exterior shot of the car, she's driving with an open van door in the winter.
That's right.
And we're going, Dana and I are going, this is dangerous, it's so snowy. And
But it was February of 2020, and the future looked bright.
I want to ask you just because, and you can both answer this because you both had experience with this, but you have directed comedy specials for so many people: Patton Oswalt, Mark Maron, the list goes on and on. Rod Funches more recently. What is, because I'm sure a lot of people just think, well, you just plant a bunch of cameras in the room and point at the guy and just edit it together at the end. But what do you think? But somehow yours kind of stand out. I mean, the one you did for Patton that you shot here, shot down the street about his wife passing away.
Yeah.
It's one of the most moving things I've ever seen, and I do feel it has a lot to do with the way you directed it. What is the key? And obviously you do some of that here as well, but what is the key to like capturing? And you can answer this too because you've worked with other directors who've directed your specials. What is the key to capturing a live performance?
It's well, thank you, and I think that it's the people that I'm lucky enough to work with. But it's, I feel my job, and the same thing when I was the director on Jimmy Kimmel, isn't, I already have a reel, and I'm trying not to be flashy. I'm trying to give the audience the best seat in the house, but I always remind the comedians, I just want them to be comfortable. I figure out some of them want to know everything about what we're doing, physically, what it looks like, and technically, and other ones don't want to be involved. Sometimes I go out with the comics and we might discuss the structure and things. But like on Patton, like obviously, I knew what the show was about, and I think a lot of people knew he was going to disclose about his wife passing away. So I knew that I didn't want to have, ladies and gentlemen, Patton Oswalt. He walks out on stage and there's only 2 edits in the whole thing. And he's by himself on purpose. So it's just stuff like that. So I knew
Do you use like a wider lens to make him to like lessen the depth of field to create a level of intimacy?
Yeah, like when he discloses that, I mounted a long lens and I did the slowest push in the history of mankind. It's so slow, but I just knew I didn't want to cut off of his face while he's talking about this moment, and he's tearing up, and it was funny. The next show, it's usually the second show that is the one that makes broadcast, but on the Patton thing, it was the first time he had done that set in that order, said the things he said, and so when you're watching it, you're watching the first episode, the first show.
Real quick, we got to wrap things up here, but you are working on a script for a feature version with Judd Apatow of Call Me Lucky.
Yeah.
What is that going to be like? How is have you even thought about who you would get to play that?
Oh yeah, well Barry told me, when Barry passed away, and Barry was almost, he's at death's door, and he goes, I gotta talk to you. And he goes, come to the kitchen. He can't walk, and he gets up, and he goes in there, he goes, I had to talk to you about something important. And I think he's gonna tell me that he loves me, or where the money's buried, or I don't know what the fuck he's gonna say. And he goes, I think Mark Ruffalo should play me in the movie. And I said, Barry, I don't want to talk about the movie. He goes, well, I do, and this is the time to talk about it. I might not be here next week. And I go, I want Chris Pine to play me. And he goes, who the fuck's Chris Pine? I go, how do you know Mark Ruffalo? I really like it when Hulk snaps. No, he didn't say that. He'd seen him in Spotlight, I think, or no, but that makes sense. Yeah.
No, it's not a bad catch.
No, it's really good, and I guess clearly Charlie Day should play me. But yeah, I've been working on that script, and in the meantime, things got so dark and hopeless. I went the other direction and I wrote a kids movie. I wrote a G-rated film that's it's about hope, and it's based on how I saw the world when I was 7 before the world crushed it out of me. But so that's the script. I just think right now the most anarchic punk rock thing I can do is to write a sweet movie.
Sure.
You know?
It's about a kid with no self-esteem called Hallelujah. No, both of it's funny. Both of us during the pandemic did really lighthearted, silly things. I was some people did a show on YouTube called Hanging with Dr. Z.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know, I was stunned that anybody
That's awesome.
outside of me and 5 people know what it is. For those of you who don't know, I know you've been waiting for this show for a long time. It's basically, if Dr. Zayas from Planet of the Apes had a talk show in the 70s, that's what it is. We just shot season 2, so that's amazing. That's really amazing.
But
Mom's on it.
I've never seen him happier when he's Dr. Zayas. He doesn't give a fuck. He is so happy.
It is funny, my girlfriend is here tonight. Thank you.
We're just saying that. Shane and I wanted to put that out there for all the nerd fans.
Take it.
Work hard. And you too can get a partner.
That's right. I'll tell you 2 quick things. I know we have to wrap up. But Kat says, like, you know, when you dress up like Dr. Zayas, and it's exactly what they have in the movies. I mean, I have a makeup guy do it who worked on The Walking Dead, and you know, it's exactly what they had. And she goes, "You're gone. You don't walk the same. You don't move the same. You know, for whatever it is." But I always used to go to Comic-Con in San Diego, and you would always see people in cosplay, you know, and it was usually like, sad Klingon with acne, whatever it was, morbidly obese C-3PO, all the greats, and then you would see.
I just realized how close.
What?
I just realized how Comic-Con is a lot like the Gathering of the Jungle.
Oh, no, totally, yeah.
It's the same people.
But at Comic-Con, you would also see just these stunning women in like cosplay. And I would always think like, years ago, like, where were the hot nerd chicks when I was single? Like, I go to comic book stores, I never saw the 6-foot super spoken nerd chick. And I never approached them because I always, just think it's like, I don't want to, it's immediately like a rape whistle just falls out of their mouth. Hello. So years later, I go back to Comic-Con and I'm with my daughter.
They break Dana's jaw.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I'm with my daughter, and we're in line to get a piece of pizza, and I'm super dadded out. Don't show they got a kid. I'm clearly not creeping on anybody. And there is this 6-foot gorgeous silk specter from the Watchmen in line behind us. And I finally just turned to her and I go, "Can I ask you a question?" Because again, I feel like she doesn't think I'm being a weirdo. I say, "Do you love The Watchmen? Are you an Alan Moore fan? Did you make that?" And she goes, "I don't even know what this is. I'm a model. They just pay us to walk around." And, "Of course you're fit!" And I ran out like Charlton Heston at the end of Soylent Green. "The hot nerd chicks are fake!" All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Hey, we're really tiny movies, so if you liked it, please support it on social media. Tell your friends. Available on iTunes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I did it.